once one or two or three people get behind something, it gets contagious very, very quickly.
Bonjour Anna, comment ça va?
Ça va bien, et vous?
Oh, on parle en français alors.
Seulement un petit peu.
Okay, that's very good. I'm very impressed already. I'll try my best English. It's going to be hard.
I'm glad we're switching to English.
Okay, but I can speak the very French, Anna. So we are at Pay360. It's the end of the day almost, and I believe you've been on stage, or at least part of a panel very recently.
Absolutely, yes.
How did it go?
Yeah, I think it went well. It was a really exciting panel.
Diversity panel, yeah.
That's right, yes. It was on inclusion and diversity, and it was a lot of fun, especially the preparation for it. We got together, all the other panelists and Cecilia, the moderator, and we had lunch together, and I feel like we had a pre-version of the panel right then and there, and it was great, so much fun.
Oh, that's great. I spent time with Cecilia as well before, and I'm sure she did a good job moderating. So
she did.
If there's one or two then key takeaways of that conversation, is it possible to narrow it down to?
To narrow it down to one or two.
Or three?
I mean, I guess what was great to see is that we were all very aligned. So that's already very good.
Very good.
And I think we are definitely all on the same page when it comes to the fact that a lot has been done already to promote diversity and inclusion, but there's still a long way to go, and that ultimately, the end game should be that we don't have to do these panels, that diversity and inclusion is an absolute given, something that people don't need to talk about, and something that is just absolutely accepted.
Agreed, yeah. And I've been in that industry for 20 years, but 17 years ago I was in payments, and I guarantee you, I mean, you were there for maybe not, or maybe yes, but we couldn't hardly find any, a handful of women out of probably 200 men. So I think it has changed a bit.
Yes.
But the beauty now, I think, of the latest 5 years or 2 years, because I'm in touch with a lot of startups, and I see so many female women leaders,
yes.
like CEOs, founders, CMOs. It's incredible, and I think it's amazing. So why is that actually? Do you think women finally decided to go for it, or is it a matter of timing, or?
It's an excellent question, and it's difficult to say, to be honest. But one thing that I would say is that, in a way, as a female founder, you may have it easier than as a female employee in a bigger corporate, because if you're a female employee in a bigger corporate, you're still stuck in those old structures, and you have to fight a lot to progress internally, and a lot of energy is spent on that. Whereas if you're a female founder, then you can just do whatever you want to do. You can create the work environment that you would have liked to see yourself. And I think that's a very appealing idea for women. And also, who says that there shouldn't be loads of female founders, right? And
I didn't.
No,
sure.
no,
just to be very clear.
No, not at all. But it's just, I guess, it's great to see that people or women are realizing that that's a viable path for them, and in some ways even an easier path. I was mentioning on the panel that my career has been, I guess, quite atypical in that it was entrepreneurial from the very beginning. I started out by founding a small VC with one female and one male company, then a real estate development company with a woman, and now Paybase, and you're obviously not being held back when you are championing things yourself, and that's really great. And I'm very glad to hear that more and more women are going down that same path.
I know, it's great to see people sharing there, because that helps a lot. Sharing. Last week we were at the International Women's Day.
Yes.
Which shouldn't be just one day, right? 364. No, but when you think about it, but it's great still to have the recognition. And we were at Rise London, so the Barclays,
yes.
And we saw Megan Kaywood, who is now managing director, group head of digital globally for Barclays, and I think she's still under 30 or whatever. I mean, amazingly, very inspirational, and a lot of the women in the room find it amazing, and again, very beneficial. How could we scale that then? Is there a way to make it more systematic, to exactly remove that need for those panels, and how quickly do you think that's really realistically doable in the UK? Not talking about the world, but
it's an excellent question. I think the way not to do it is through formalized programs that are really just tick box exercises. I think the way to do it is through living the diversity and inclusion mindset, and ultimately, to me, that's much broader than just men and women. It can encompass any type of diversity, even as kind of as little as diversity of opinions, right? And if you really ingrain into yourself a mindset of being open, being empathetic, being willing to listen to diverse voices and to accept that the truth often lies somewhere in the middle, I think that goes a long, long way to creating much more collaborative working environments where everyone can feel that they can truly participate. So I think it's a lot more about creating that mindset than creating regulated structures around, there should be that many women here, that many. I personally don't think that's the way forward.
So you're not for quotas then?
Sorry?
You're not for quotas to impose, like to have a typical number of whatever, women, male. You're not in favor of that?
I think I am not in favor of it if they are only done for the sake of doing them. If people can get really behind them and kind of take a step back and say, I understand why this is important. I understand what the value is that I as a business am getting out of that. Then I'm...
But if I step back, I mean, what you said, which is great about almost the mindset, the challenge of having you rethink about the surroundings and being more mindful maybe of people. That's not at all linked with gender, because it's not a female, male, at all. So. And me, at my old age now, I feel like I could still learn in that. I mean, I'm very aware, I think, of people, but still, you can always learn. So how can we change that? Is it a matter of having mindfulness session, like in every single companies they have to provide that? Is it the government who needs to start teaching you? I think they teach kids now. Or teenagers mindfulness in some schools. No,
fantastic. Fantastic. I mean, sure, why not? That's definitely one good way forward. But I guess it's what we as individuals can do is lead by example, right? And what I often find within my company, within Paybase, is that once one or two or three people get behind something, it gets contagious very, very quickly. One of the things that I try to look out for when I hire is people that take pride in the work that they do and really care about delivering the best possible result. And if you get people in like that, they obviously bounce off one another and it becomes absolutely contagious and everyone wants to do the best possible job. And I think it's very similar with that diversity mindset. If you get people in, which is again what we try to do, that are open-minded and that have experienced various different life paths and so on, and you put them all in a room together, that really nurtures that kind of mindset. So I would encourage to live that as a role model and to get those types of people in, when hiring.
No, I totally understand, but there's two things I'm thinking about when you say that, and we can't spend too much time there, but first thing is, I've always said that, but the older I get again, it's like the recruitment. Very few organizations nail it. They don't focus on the right thing. They're more technical than, again, the aptitude of someone, the willingness, the desire, the ways those people function and could fit into the team. So I think recruitment and corporate culture, whatever that means, makes me smile every time we say it. Those are two key barriers of driving change. So it's rare to find leaders who manage to go over and beyond just the technical thing. I think that's me saying that. And the second bit, which I think you have to watch, you probably did when you said that we need just a few people to change that. Did you see that TEDx speech? I mean, that was, I can't remember the title, as probably 10 years ago. I need to go to YouTube it, And it's fascinating. And they see that guy, he did like a TEDx speech, and he shows like people, I think, not on the beach, but on a hill. Everybody is like sitting, and there's one guy who decides to dance. He starts dancing, but it's totally ridiculous, like really ridiculous. Nobody joins. After 5 minutes, 2 people join, 3 people. And at the end, everybody is
dancing.
And that's a great way to articulate or illustrate what it is you're saying. I mean,
Absolutely. No, I like that analogy, 100%.
That's amazing. I'll find it on YouTube, and I'll try to share the link during that video in the description. And the last thing, maybe, sorry, time is a bit tight, and I still have like 24 people waiting for the interview. I'm kidding. But Paybase. So you said you created it. It's not your first company, but the first one really in financial services.
That is correct.
Why did you create it? What need are you trying to, problem are you trying to solve, or experience you're trying to provide?
Absolutely. So I guess as an investment manager, which is what I did before that, I first came across the financial services and payments industry. And I got really frustrated about how often there is really a lack of access to payments providers for younger and more innovative companies, because these payments providers have high setup fees, high monthly minimums, old technical infrastructure, and they just don't have the flexibility that many innovative businesses need in order to succeed. And especially that is especially true for businesses that need a bit more than a standard payment gateway and acquirer, that need to worry a bit about more than just payments acceptance. And so that's really where the kind of the Paybase vision came from, to build a payment solution for businesses with more sophisticated payments requirements that gives them the whole infrastructure, that gives them payments, that gives them regulatory cover and compliance cover, that gives them risk management, and in a way that is extremely flexible and can really work for each and every one of their businesses. Because you can find solutions out there, but they're all kind of boxed in, which means that you have to shoehorn your business model in order to make payments work. And it should be the other way around, right? Payments should work for you and should enhance your business rather than holding it back. And so that's what we've been doing for platform businesses, so online marketplaces, gig and sharing economy platforms. We also work with fintechs and with cryptocurrency businesses that look for fiat to crypto interop. So all quite diverse sets of businesses, but they all face the fundamentally the same problem, right? This regulatory cover, this operational overhead around payments, and the lack of inflexibility, and that's what we're solving.
Congratulations, but any stats you can share, or stats or achievements, so whether it's customer base, it's employees, it's like money raised, or
absolutely.
all of the above?
All of the above.
Okay.
So we're just under 20 people right now, and onboarding clients, which is very exciting. In terms of funds raised, we've raised significant private funding, but actually the piece that I'm most proud of in that context is that we got an Innovate UK grant worth £700,000, and to be recognised by a leading UK funder as a leader in innovation is absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
Well done, and congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.